No matter how many more of Hina's tears splashed on his face, there was no second miracle. Reality set in again. This isn't some stereotypical fantasy world. Tears can't restore a person's vitality.
Honestly.
You have no tears, do you? No blood in your veins, no calcium in your bones. At least you have your meat.
Stop talking.
You're just angry. Going out of his way to return just to leave us with those unnecessary dying words. Now this game is becoming exceedingly boring. You said Yoshihiro, right?
Then perhaps...
Yoshihiro... Kagakura. This is the only person you could have been referring to.
So in other words...
And with that, the case is solved. Assaulting people and even killing Taka and Ifumi? And then going so far as to hide their bodies? A criminal that hides his face behind a mask and uses a bunch of giant wooden hammers? Is that what Hiro is?
What is this?
If it's true, I can't forgive him. No way I can never forgive him. To kill two of our friends.
Fine.
Anyway, it's about time we track down the culprit in our little life or death game here. And this time, it's not all that life or death. The trial will conclude without much trouble.
Indeed.
Yes, it does look that way. It's going to begin again. We have to go through this one more time. I have to accept it. I have no choice but to go through with this to make sure everyone survives. I have to do it. Time to investigate. First, I'd better check the Monokuma file. The victims were Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotake Shimaru. The cause of death to each was a blow to the head. It is thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon. That's
Very
it?
strange.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. We've got way less information this time than before. That's no problem after all. The events of this case unfolded before our very eyes. We should know more about what happened than the Monokuma file could, anyway. Maybe.
Well,
Something else that's bothering me. Someone else has been missing for quite a while. Are you talking about Yuko? Without a doubt. She has an alibi for when Celeste and Hifumi were attacked. But what if the killer wasn't acting alone? What if they had an accomplice? An accomplice? An accomplice? What are you doing here?
Monokuma appears!
Don't be rude. I'm here to answer your question. What question?
Yep.
You're talking about an accomplice, right? I'm pretty sure I explained before, didn't I? During the first class trial.
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so I shall answer. Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
In other words,
So, basically, you have to be an accomplice if you want, but there's no notification here.
So then...
Ooh, I go. Oh, sorry about that. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So you're saying nobody worked together this time, either?
Hey,
Sorry, I can't answer that. It would obstruct the free exchange of information between you guys. I just want to make sure you don't forget, no matter how much you might assist a murderer, only one Blacken can graduate. An accomplice gets nothing.
So, in other words,
Then we only need to figure out who that one Blackened is that did the killing, right? Just like normal.
well,
Okay. Let me take this opportunity to clarify the whole shebang. In this class trial, what you need to determine is
scream!
the one true Blackened who devised the murder plot and put it into action. The true Blackened? So just one
Well
person.
now,
That's enough for explainifying. Now it's down to the final battle between all of you and the Blackened. Good luck to all the contestants. So there could be only one Blackened, and the accomplice wouldn't benefit. Then I can't see why Kyoko would be connected to this case after all. You might be right. If that's true, then Kyoko, where are you?
However...
As long as she is not connected to this case, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the investigation.
Indeed.
I have absolutely no doubt that Hero is responsible. But for the time being, I suppose it can't hurt to pursue further investigation. Don't you think we should consider someone a suspect just in case? I'm talking about the murderous fiend, Gentai Jack. What? I am offended. Yeah. When did you... I've been looking all over for you, Master. When I woke up, you were nowhere to be found.
SOB!
Hey, wait. You there. Milk sack swimmer girl. Huh? Milk sack?
You gotta be kidding!
Why do I gotta be a suspect?
What the heck?
Well, I mean, you are a serial killer.
What?
So what? I'm like a special guest suspect every time. I have an alibi, you know. She's right about that. When we heard Fumi scream, she was with me. And when the bodies disappeared, she was still lying unconscious on the equipment floor. Plus Taka's body aside, I can't imagine any way she would have been able to move the Fumi's body.
Yep.
Besides, I calculate every move I make. I'm not gonna kill someone when everyone knows what I look like. They don't call me a murderous fiend for nothing.
What are you saying?
That's not the kind of thing you should be bragging about.
Let's see.
On another topic, should we post a guard by the bodies like before? We can't have them disappearing again.
So then...
Hina and I can handle that. You don't mind, do you, Hina? Sure. I'd be totally useless in the investigation anyway.
it's all clear now.
And let's start. Then that's that. Let's begin. This whole thing is so strange. All but one of us has an alibi, so figuring out who did it should be obvious, right? But maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as it seems. Monokuma File 3 has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. Was that dolly here in the art room, or was it up in the science room? Because I got a weird feeling that thing was down in the science room. Oops, that's a Fumi's body. Fumi's big cold body's laying on the floor. His really big body. I mean, how on earth was a serial killer able to move someone so big? From the nurse's office where he was discovered to here at the repository. All the way from the first floor to the third. And all without anyone noticing it. How the hell? It's no good, I just don't get it. I can think about it later. For now, I just have to finish investigating Fumi himself. If I remember correctly, Fumi's fatal injury was also a blow to the head. Probably from Justice Hammer 3, which was lying on the floor in the nurse's office. Huh? Wait. Something's off about his body. Why am I getting this feeling? Something's different. Something about Fumi's body in the nurse's office versus his body right now. That's it, his glasses. When his body was in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But now they're completely clean. Does this mean someone wiped his glasses off? But who would do that, and why? Fumi's glasses have been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Right, can I click that dolly? Thank you. It's a dolly. It doesn't have a handle. I saw this in the art room before. I guess it used to move the statues around. It's kind of awkward, but if you bend down, it's not too hard to use. Huh? But wait. Wasn't this in the equipment room where we found Taka's body? And look at the wheel. There's a blood stain on it. So there's blood on the wheel of the dolly that was moved from the equipment room to the repository. What's the explanation for that? Repository dolly has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. And why is this tarp? This is tarp, isn't it? Taka, he'll never move again. According to the Monokuma file, Taka died from a blow to the head. We found Justice Hammer 4 near his body in the equipment room. So that was used to kill him. And there's a tarp laid out under his body? Did the killer use this to move Taka's body? That way there wouldn't be any blood left behind while the body was moved. Blue tarp has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay, so we know where the hammers came from. These are hammers of all different sizes hanging on the wall, although some more like mallets. Mallets? Could the Justice Hammers have been designed using these as a model? Either way, all the hammers here have obviously seen a lot of use. They're covered in debris and chalky stone powder. Wait, for some reason this one hammer isn't dirty at all, and it's wet? Did someone wash it recently? Spotless hammer has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. No, okay, because yeah, the hammers. When we first came into this room, all the hammers were there. Now some of them are clearly missing. So yeah. There are many aspects to the incident this time. Too many, to be honest. Considering that it may be good to look back on everything that's happened.
So then,
would you like my help? Yeah, look at the things. This morning, only 4 of us met up in the dining hall. Hineki, Goyu, and myself. We waited for the others, but nobody showed up, so we decided to go look for them. It was around 8 o'clock when we began our search. As soon as we split up, Kyoko disappeared. After that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room on the 3rd floor, then quickly came and got you and me. According to Celeste, she was attacked by a suspicious individual and lay unconscious for about an hour. In other words, she was attacked an hour before we found her, meaning just after 7 o'clock. Based on the picture Celeste took, we discovered her attacker was dressed in a strange costume. It was Robo-Justice. It also became clear that this Robo-Justice had dragged Hifumi away. After meeting up with Toko and Byakuya, we began searching for the costume assailant. We found an injured Hifumi in the library on the 2nd floor. We took him down to the nurse's office on the 1st floor, and resumed our search. But not long after leaving the nurse's office... What's wrong? It's a shadow. Something's moving around the top of the stairs. Yeah. She came out with us. And she went back in the nurse's office with Hina. Based on Celeste's claim, we went back to the 2nd floor where we split up and began searching. Then, right after that, Celeste screamed. This time she was apparently seen the suspect on the 3rd floor. Hearing her scream, we quickly made our way to the 3rd floor. Celeste, what's wrong? This is a rather intense scream from someone like you. I saw the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. And then... Yeah... Huh? What was that? It came from downstairs. It must have been... Fumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad, come on, we have to go back. At that point, we decided to split up into two groups. Celestina and I went back to the nurse's office. Meanwhile, you, Byakuya, and Toku pursued the suspect to the 3rd floor. And when we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi's corpse, which is also when we heard the body discovery announcement play. I left Celeste and Hina alone and headed back to the 3rd floor to tell the others what had happened. Oh yeah, Hifumi was already dead.
However,
but at that same time, we had discovered Taka's body in the equipment room, which means Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered right around the same time, because I remember hearing the body discovery announcement play right after finding Taka. And that's when I showed up and told you and Byakuya that Hifumi had been killed, right? Then you, me, and Byakuya all headed back to the nurse's office, leaving behind Toko, who had fainted. But as soon as we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who had just arrived to tell us something very unusual. Hifumi's body has disappeared. We hurried down to the nurse's office to discover that his corpse was in fact gone. Then we remembered we had abandoned the unconscious Toko and rushed back to the equipment room. This can't be happening. Are you hallucinating all of this or something? This time Taka's body had disappeared. So from there we began our search for both of the missing bodies. And after some time, Celeste told us she'd found the bodies and we all headed to the repository. And there we rediscovered that 2 bodies had apparently vanished. And that brings us up to now. Looking back, things have certainly been very active. If you know to look back at this case again, just let me know. I'm fine anytime. Wow, she's got the memory of a steel cage. But damn.
So,
Hey, Makoto, I've been thinking about something. It's about the repository. Huh? What is it? After Hifumi and Taka's bodies disappeared, we split up to look around, right? I was really scared, so me and Sophia stepped together.
but
And we came right to the repository too, you know? Looked around. But when we got here, the repository was locked, so we couldn't get inside. Yeah, it was locked, because I tried the door myself. And we came here as soon as the search started, so there's no way someone could have beaten us here. So if that's true, then who locked it? Why is it unlocked now? I wonder the same thing. The door was locked when the search for the bodies began, but now it's wide open. There might be some secret lurking in there, but I'll probably have to leave this area to figure it out. Vicky, do you think Hiro really did this? I don't see how anyone else could think otherwise. When the attacks and murderers all disappeared, and the disappearances all happened, every one of us had an alibi. And the last thing Hifumi said when he died, yeah, he said Hiro's name.
So in other words,
then there's no reason to suspect anyone else. Okay, but if he did do it, why would he hide his identity with that weird costume? Maybe he thought that no matter what happened, he'd be safe as long as his face was covered. Because he's the fool of the century, you see? I mean, he is kind of dumb, but do you really think he's enough to explain it? I feel like there's a clue hiding in there somewhere.
what?
And is that it? That's all that bothers you about the case? Well, no, there are a few other things. Like, why did the killer try to hide the bodies? They probably figured that if we couldn't find the bodies, we couldn't complete our investigation. But if that's the case, we found the bodies pretty easily, didn't we? Again, it comes back to the fact that the culprit was a moron. Is that really all there is to it? The other thing that bothers me is, why did they bother killing 2 people?
What?
Because all the rules say is, if you kill someone and get away with it, you graduate, right? So if you're the killer, your number 1 priority is not getting caught. But killing 2 people means more clues, more chances you'll get found out.
I see.
Hold on, perhaps... I see, so that's what that means. Is everything okay?
That's enough.
Don't talk to me as if you were friends. What's with the attitude? You have my appreciation.
Goodbye.
Thanks to you, I might have some fun with this after all. Oh, good grief. Some mysterious words hung in the air as he left the repository. as if he'd figured something out. But if he did, would it have killed him to let me know what it was? Oh goody, Bieki is off to play his games again, is he? Fantastic. Okay, just checking around the room to make sure... Yeah, I think I've clicked everything. There's only one way in and out of this room, through the door that Hina said was locked before. There's definitely a lock on the door, but it can only be locked from inside the repository. So, it can only be locked from inside the repository. That would suggest the killer was, or the person who moved the bodies, was in here. They then unlocked the room and came out. But Hina and Sakura were in the art room the whole time. Huh, okay. It could only be locked from inside the repository. I don't see any way for the way to lock it from in the art room. Huh. The door can only be locked from inside the repository, which makes me wonder. Hina and Sakura confirmed that the door was locked after they started looking for the missing bodies. And the door is designed so that it can only be locked from inside the repository. In other words, when Hina checked it, someone had already gone in the repository and locked the door. When they were done, they unlocked it and left, which is why it's unlocked now. But Hina claims that there's no way someone could have beaten them to the repository. So that certain someone been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. There's got to be a clue around here somewhere. Maybe I should check somewhere else. There are some places I already know about. First the nurse's office where Hifumi was found, then the equipment room where Taka was found. Yeah. Right. I'm on the same floor as the equipment room, so let's quickly run back to the equipment room and check in there. Okay, so there's the tarp. Huh? This tarp? I feel like I've seen it somewhere before, and just recently too. Okay, fine, be like that. I was sleeping right here when the killer carried the body away.
What?
I'm super pissed I missed such an ultimately rare event. Okay. There's some kind of tire mark going through the pool of blood in the middle of the room. It reminds me about the body in the repository. There was blood on its tire. Could that blood have come from here? Which could mean that Taka's body was moved from the equipment room to the repository using the dolly. Both rooms are on the 3rd floor, so that should definitely have been possible. And bloodstain added to the handbook. But even if the dolly was used to move Taka's body, what about Hifumi? Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office on the 1st floor. Even with a dolly, there's no way it could have get up to the 3rd floor. That's still a total mystery. Just as M4 hammer was used to kill Taka. The body was moved, but the murder weapon was still left here. No. Yeah, I've clicked everything. Oh, stop it! Stop it! I've clicked everything in here. Oh, hang on. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, let's try... Okay, now let's go down to the nurse's office. That's the 4th floor. Let's go back down to the nurse's office, which is back down on the 1st floor. there's no... So, I suppose the body couldn't have been dragged up here, because there's no blood or anything. Huh. So, Celeste is in here. What are you investigating, Celeste? I'm not investigating anything, precisely speaking. I'm simply going around seeing if Hero might be hiding somewhere. What about you? Oh, you know, I'm just checking this and that. The only thing on my mind is how someone could have moved Fruity.
Let's see.
How a Fruity was moved, eh? When it disappeared, you were supposed to be in the nurse's... When it disappeared, you were supposed to be in the nurse's office, right?
Indeed.
Correct. Hino was not feeling well, so I stayed behind to look after her. But she seemed to be getting worse, so I took her to the bathroom. When you got back, the body was gone. He could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So Hina said the same thing. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in a short amount of time. It would seem so. To carry someone as big as Hifumi in only a couple of minutes is... I can't think of it as anything less than impossible. So Alistair Cowan has been added to the Truth Bulletin handbook section. It's really the one that was used to kill Hifumi. Someone moved the body but left the hammer behind. Ooh. Just a trash can. Huh? Wait, there's something inside. It's too small to be a handkerchief. It's a glasses cleaning cloth. It's got some kind of cartoon character. But it's also covered in blood.
Oh!
Did you find something? Yeah, there's a cleaning cloth in the trash can. Cleaning cloth? And it's all bloody. Whoever this belonged to must have used it to wipe some blood. But who would need to do something like that? I haven't the slightest idea. Yeah, me either. But I think it might be important. There's a cleaning cloth added to the handbook. Okay, so that's the cloth that was used to clean Hifumi's glasses. But, again, why? I wonder if there's anything dark inside it. For everything I've been through, I'm totally parched. Maybe as just a quick peek. There's a bunch of blood packets in here for blood transfusion, I guess. It doesn't help me, though. I'm not a vampire. Okay, so I can't click on the blood.